Up to 2/3 of people with diabetes also have high blood pressure, dramatically increasing their risk of heart attack and stroke. Welcome back to the Dr. Phyco channel, where we share simple, easy to understand, but extremely important knowledge to help you prevent illness, take care of your health, and live a happy life with your family. Diabetes and high blood pressure are not two separate roads, they are two streams that constantly intersect. When they appear together, their effects don't just add up, they multiply. Scientists call this a synergistic effect, where one disease accelerates the progression of the other. Imagine this: if diabetes is like a stream filled with junk, then high blood pressure is that stream flowing at high speed. When they combine, the pipes your blood vessels will quickly erode, clog, and can even burst at any time. Many people only focus on asking, "What is my blood sugar?" when they visit the doctor, forgetting to ask, "How is my blood pressure today?" This overconfidence is why many people who control their blood sugar well still end up having a stroke or heart failure. They ignore the blood pressure factor. Why does diabetes lead to high blood pressure? The first reason lies in your blood vessel walls. High blood sugar over a long period causes sugar molecules to attach to the vessel walls, creating products called glycation. These act like a sticky glue, making the vessels stiff and less elastic. When blood vessels are no longer flexible, blood has a harder time moving. So your heart has to pump with more force to maintain circulation, which causes blood pressure to rise. Second, there is an impairment of endothelial function. Normally, the endothelium, the inner lining of your blood vessels, secretes nitric oxide, a substance that helps vessels expand flexibly. But when damaged by high blood sugar, this ability is significantly reduced. Additionally, diabetic kidney disease is a crucial link. When the kidneys are damaged, their ability to filter salt and water decreases. The body retains more salt, causing blood pressure to climb. This is why many diabetic patients, just a few years after their diagnosis, also begin to show abnormal blood pressure readings. How high blood pressure worsens diabetes? If diabetes opens the door for high blood pressure, then in return, high blood pressure acts as a catalyst that makes diabetes harder to control. Constantly high blood pressure puts stress on the vessel walls, especially the small and delicate ones. Imagine a leaking water pipe. If the water flows at high speed, the crack will widen faster. Similarly, high blood pressure causes blood vessels already weakened by diabetes to break down quickly. The small blood vessels in the retina of the eye can be damaged, leading to blindness. The vessels in the peripheral nerves can be squeezed, causing numbness and tingling in the hands and feet. The blood vessels in the glomeruli of the kidneys where blood is filtered can be destroyed, causing protein to leak into the urine and gradually leading to kidney failure. Even more dangerously, high blood pressure makes the heart work harder. The heart muscle thickens, and it needs more oxygen. Meanwhile, in diabetic patients, the coronary arteries are often already stiffened. The result is a lack of blood supply to the heart, which can easily lead to a heart attack. This is why the combination of these two diseases is a double punch that accelerates the disease's progression many times over. Once diabetes and high blood pressure join forces, the body enters a difficult-to-escape cycle. First, high blood sugar damages the vessel walls. Then, blood pressure increases due to stiffened vessels and the kidneys retaining salt. The heart has to pump harder, which over time leads to heart failure. The kidneys become more damaged, their filtering capacity decreases, causing salt and water to build up, which in turn raises blood pressure even more. Finally, the brain becomes a victim. The high blood pressure puts immense stress on the small blood vessels in the brain, while the vessel walls are already weak from high blood sugar. The result is a 4 times higher risk of stroke compared to healthy people. Just a small blood clot or a burst blood vessel can lead to paralysis, memory loss, or even death. This is why cardiology experts always emphasize, diabetes and high blood pressure don't just add up, they double the danger. Lifestyle and risk factors. In Vietnam, the risk of having both diabetes and high blood pressure is even greater due to specific lifestyle habits. We often think our diet is simple and contains less fatty meat than in Western countries, but in reality, we consume double, even triple, the recommended amount of salt. Salted fish, braised meat, fermented shrimp paste, and pickled vegetables are familiar dishes, but they contain a massive amount of sodium. Sodium retains water, increases pressure in blood vessels, and causes blood pressure to rise. When combined with diabetes, the consequences are even more severe. It's not just salt. Hidden sugar is also a culprit. Vietnamese people often drink milk tea, iced milk coffee, sodas, and energy drinks, not realizing that just one glass can contain 5 to 7 teaspoons of sugar. When consumed daily, blood sugar levels constantly rise, insulin has to work overtime, and eventually, this leads to insulin resistance. And when insulin resistance is combined with a high-salt diet, the risk of both diabetes and high blood pressure is almost unavoidable. Another habit is staying up late. Many people think they can just catch up on sleep the next morning, but the body doesn't work that way. Staying up late disrupts the biological clock and increases the stress hormone cortisol. High cortisol not only makes blood sugar harder to control but also raises blood pressure. This is why some patients who are very careful with their diet still see fluctuations in both their sugar and blood pressure, and the root cause is a lack of sleep, age, gender, and other factors. After the age of 50, the risk of getting both diabetes and high blood pressure increases significantly. This is because blood vessels gradually lose elasticity, insulin becomes less effective, muscle mass decreases, and belly fat accumulates. Especially in postmenopausal women, the decline in estrogen makes blood vessels more prone to hardening and belly fat accumulates faster, putting them at a higher risk for both diseases than men of the same age. For men, especially those with a beer belly, the risk is also high. A large belly isn't just a cosmetic issue, it's a sign of accumulated visceral fat, the culprit behind both high sugar and high blood pressure. They say, for every inch you add to your waist, you subtract a few years from your life, and it's for this very reason. The role of sleep, stress, and daily habits. Many patients only ask their doctors about medication and diet, but few realize how important sleep and stress are. Sleeping less than 6 hours a night keeps the body in an alert state. Stress hormones increase. The heart beats faster, blood pressure rises, and the liver releases more sugar. If this continues, medication and diet alone will have a hard time helping. Stress is the same. Chronic worries and pressure constantly stimulate the nervous system, which raises blood pressure and makes insulin less effective. This is why many patients who retire and reduce their work stress, just by adding breathing exercises and relaxation, see significant improvements in both their blood sugar and blood pressure. Additionally, habits like drinking a lot of strong coffee, strong tea, or alcohol are also risk factors. Caffeine and alcohol make the heart beat faster, raise blood pressure, and if consumed in the evening, they can disrupt sleep. For patients with diabetes and high blood pressure, they're like adding fuel to the fire. Key nutrients and a proactive approach. Few people realize that besides medication, trace minerals also play an important role in simultaneously controlling diabetes and high blood pressure. Potassium helps balance sodium, relaxes blood vessels, and lowers blood pressure. Bananas, oranges, green vegetables, and sweet potatoes are rich sources of potassium. Magnesium, involved in over 300 metabolic reactions, it helps insulin work effectively while keeping the heart rhythm stable. It's abundant in pumpkin seeds, cashews, and leafy greens. Calcium. Besides its role in bone health, calcium also helps regulate blood vessels. Calcium deficiency can make blood pressure difficult to control. Omega-3 seconds, found in saltwater fish, they help reduce inflammation, lower triglycerides, and protect blood vessels. A diet rich in green vegetables, low-sugar fruits, nuts, and fish is not only good for blood sugar but also helps stabilize blood pressure and reduce the risk of complications. Mr. Thin, 58, is a classic example. He is 1.65 meters tall, about 5'5", and weighs 57 kilograms, 125 pounds, a normal weight, not at all overweight. He was diagnosed with diabetes 4 years ago. Initially, he was very careful to avoid sweets and took his medication regularly, but he maintained his habit of eating salty foods and drinking strong coffee every night. He often went to bed at 1 or 2 a.m. because of work. One day, while shopping, he suddenly felt dizzy and had blurred vision, so he had to be rushed to the emergency room. The result? His blood pressure was 180/100, accompanied by signs of a transient ischemic attack, a mini stroke. The doctor explained that in addition to diabetes, he had had high blood pressure for many years without knowing it, and this combination had pushed him to the brink of a stroke. After this incident, Mr. Thin completely changed his lifestyle. He reduced salt, added more green vegetables, nuts, and fish to his diet. He gave up his evening coffee. He started walking for 30 minutes every morning and learned how to breathe deeply before bed. Just 6 months later, his blood pressure stabilized at 125/80. His blood sugar was well controlled, and he felt lighter and more alert. What you can do to deal with the dangerous combination of diabetes and high blood pressure, you don't need to do anything too complicated. The secret lies in small, consistent actions every day. First, with your diet, remember 3 words. Light, green, clean. Light means reducing salt, soy sauce, and rich braised dishes. Green means including vegetables and low-sugar fruits in every meal. Clean means prioritizing fresh food and limiting packaged, fried, and sugary drinks. An ideal meal could be brown rice, steamed fish, boiled vegetables, and a piece of tofu or an egg. Second, with exercise, don't think you have to do strenuous workouts or go to the gym to see results. Just a brisk 30-minute walk every day, or even splitting it into 3 10-minute walks, is enough to make a significant difference. A gentle 10 to 15-minute walk after a meal is a great way to lower post-meal blood sugar. If you can, adding some qigong, yoga, or light weight training is also very beneficial for your heart. Third, with rest, try to go to bed early and get enough sleep. The body needs 7 to 8 hours of rest to regulate hormones, reduce stress, and keep both blood sugar and blood pressure stable. Avoid staying up late. Limit coffee and strong tea in the evening, and try to go to bed at the same time every night. Finally, with your mindset, stay optimistic. Chronic stress is like a smoldering fire in your blood vessels. Take time to relax, listen to music, tend to plants, and practice deep breathing. Just 10 minutes of quiet reflection each day can add a layer of protection against complications. For middle-aged people, 40 to 50 years old, this is the golden stage for disease prevention. If there is a family history of diabetes or high blood pressure, you should get a yearly checkup and not wait for symptoms. Maintaining a healthy weight and avoiding a large belly will significantly reduce your risk. For postmenopausal women, this group is most susceptible to both diseases due to the loss of estrogen's protective effects. The advice is to maintain a diet rich in green vegetables, fish, and nuts, do light exercises like yoga and walking, and get regular cholesterol checks to detect early signs of atherosclerosis. For men with a beer belly, don't let your appearance deceive you. A large belly is visceral fat, the culprit that causes both high blood sugar and high blood pressure. Besides a low-salt diet and exercise, you must pay special attention to reducing alcohol, as it makes both blood sugar and blood pressure fluctuate. For people with a family history, if your parents or siblings have diabetes or high blood pressure, your risk is higher than normal. Therefore, get your HbA1c and blood pressure checked regularly. Early detection and timely lifestyle changes can prevent the disease from developing. One of the biggest mistakes is only getting checked when you feel tired or have symptoms. But diabetes and high blood pressure are both hidden enemies. Many people have a blood pressure of 160/170 and don't feel dizzy or have headaches. Many people have had high blood sugar for years without knowing it. By the time complications occur, it's often too late. Therefore, a checkup every 6 months is a must. Check your blood sugar, blood pressure, cholesterol, kidney function, and eyes all at the same time. This is the golden opportunity to detect complications early and stop them. One routine checkup could help you avoid a stroke. Diabetes and high blood pressure are like two massive waves crashing down at once. If you only fight one, you might stay afloat, but when both hit, your health boat can easily sink. However, remember, everyone has the power to steer their own ship. Eating a little less salt, sleeping a little earlier, and exercising a little more small but consistent changes every day will create a strong wall to protect your heart and blood vessels. You only have one heart, one brain, one pair of eyes, and one pair of kidneys. When you take care of them early, you can keep them healthy for the rest of your life. Thank you for watching the entire video. If you found this content helpful, please remember to subscribe to the Dr. Phyco channel and leave a comment below to share your situation.